Welcome everyone to another edition of this week's breaking, literally, news. What is broken, not working, peak bugs, insecurities, you name it. Welcome everyone there. So as usual, if there is some German news, which this week's might only be one or two, don't worry, I translate anyway. So macOS, and yeah, not so many Mac news today, but macOS 10.15, supplemental update for the supplemental update. You can't make this stuff up. And you also see already major IT news spreading this news, not only I myself and I. And yeah, so supplemental updated to resolve some issues, no surprise here. However, the problem, not all users apparently even getting that. I rest my case. It's so sad. It's not funny anymore. Yeah, apparently, yeah, something well hidden information. Some new things, including reliability of installation. Like, yeah, we had this didn't even work for us, and yeah, new builds, new downloads. But yeah, also allegedly Apple is testing bigger changes. Including fixes to mail not working, data loss in mail, print drivers, problems with eGPUs, you name it. In similar news, are we the only ones who are calling out this buggy peak bugs? Apparently not. Here David Shayer on Tidbits writes, iOS 13 and macOS 10.11 Catalina have been unusually buggy. By the way, now that I realize it, I just realized just in this minute, they have this code name that I personally don't like very much, because they don't like automatically sort, and you don't know if you speak with each other and users and administrators and such, you don't know naturally what came first, like Catalina or Mojave or High Sierra and stuff. I just realized iOS doesn't have this code name nonsense, right? Anyway, not the greatest fan of this, but they write have been unusually buggy releases for Apple. The beta stand out buggy at WWDC in June, which is not unexpected, but even after Apple removed some features from the final release in September, more problems have been forced the company to publish quick updates. Why? Based on his 18 years experience working at Apple as a software engineer, he has some ideas. Overloaded feature list. Well, overloaded feature list when even not the most visible to users, mostly some stuff that nobody really wants. Innumerable features lagging behind something, whatever. Crash reports don't identify non-crashing. Well, actually, those of these things are not even, I made this video on my primary channel, that even there, that Apple intentionally broke multi-threaded stuff, that in my opinion, yes, some debug printout, hey, dear developer, you can't do that, but intentionally crashing here like this, in my opinion, so this is, there you see also what different people think. In my opinion, this is even like non-crashing bugs. It's like, the one thing I personally don't miss too much is a crash report. I mean, that is the only constant that is at least somewhat 95% okay-ish. A built-in crash report automatically reports application crashes, but even kernel crashes back to the company. A crash report includes a lot of data, especially useful as a stack trace, which shows exactly where the code crashed and, more importantly, how it got to that point. Crash reports on something. Unfortunately, crash reports can't catch non-crashing bugs. It's blind to the photo that never uploaded iCloud contact cards. So Loop repeatedly asking, so Apple tracks non-crashing bugs the old-fashioned way with human testing, automated testing. Yeah, also they have this radar. But anyway, less important bugs are tried, regressions get fixed, old bugs get ignored. Yeah, also recurring theme here. I will actually make a dedicated video about this stupid, it just drives me nuts, that in 2019 even mouse handling, this is one of the biggest bugs that is the most hilarious, and it just caught me the other day editing a video in iMovie. So automated testing are used sparingly, and yeah, when I'm joking, we are professionals as such, I literally mean it. I have the impression sometimes small couple of people company like Xrcode is doing more professional development and testing than some of the biggest mega corporations. Doesn't surprise me. Also, in my opinion, the new Xcode total cluster crap, but yeah, whatever. complexity has ballooned. Yeah, also totally agree. This is also why we make this stream here, that most stuff is too complex, and even the code signing and stuff, not that it is too complex, but everything is adding, and then if something doesn't work anymore, is it code signing, is it this, is it that? And yeah, anyway, even former developers, 19 years of experience, there you have it. In the regular recurring Cisco security news, Cisco REST API container for iOS. Yeah, also yes, literally this is also called iOS. Can't make this up. Software also, I think even Apple is paying Cisco maybe for the right to use this name. Actually, I think there was something 8 years ago or so, before we made this YouTube channel. Software authentication bypass vulnerability critical. So just if you are dealing with the Cisco gear, you probably finally want to apply this update from I think August or so, because it's updated and this is now exploited in the wild. So if you're wondering why stuff is hacked and cracked and stuff, then this is now exploit. So yeah, Cisco something is aware of a proof of concept exploit is publicly available for the vulnerability described in this advisory. So yeah, recurring can't have a week without some nice Cisco insecurity. Speaking about broken stuff and snake oil and antivirus stuff, Trend Micro Anti-Threat Toolkit could be used to run malware on Windows PCs, just our recurring theme here of antivirus snake oil. I repeated it often enough. Antivirus stuff is increasing the attack surface. More code, millions of lines of code, just added complexity and often of questionable quality of unpacking all the zip and RAR archives and 7-zip and whatnot. So they extract this there in memory, even including zip bombs and whatever, and then parsing all the stuff. And so yeah, in my opinion, as sad as it is, I trust the Windows Security Essentials somewhat more than random virus stuff with whatever, because yeah, random programmers, whatever. Also not a substitute to write secure operating system software, libraries, applications. Probably something we should focus more on, keeping stuff beautifully small, minimally, and working and secure. And yeah, just when you were wondering if you're security experts and bug hunter John Hyperlink's page discovered an arbitrary code execution vulnerability tracked as CVE 2019-9491 in the Trend Micro Anti-Threat Toolkit. Allows analyzing malware issues and clean infections. It can be used to perform system and so on. And yeah, the usual stuff. Stuff is buggy and insecure. Speaking about buggy and insecure, Google says a fix for Pixels 4 face unlock is a month away. And apparently, so we are not really reviewing each and everything, because honestly, I don't want to make a regular review channel. Also, most of the files are mostly fine, except when you drop them, then they break. But yeah, whatever. Not, in my opinion, not the point to review all those phones. They are just too similar rounded rectangle. And yeah, actually, you see live our own channel. You see similar. See here something top secret, not really. So yeah, looks nearly identical to the Samsung, so much to design differentiation in 2019. Just choose what you like most, what is anyway. So yeah, what is so crazy? So I'm not going into, not planning, and don't see a point of all this unboxing and whatever, because yeah, so this is why we are not first-hand experience here with this one. But apparently, according to this report, they have a face unlock so insecure that it works with static images, sleeping people, and a security issue that will apparently stick around for some time. Also, yeah, 2019 flagship phones of Google not only released with what many consider too insecure and maybe a regression and step back, and then biggest companies, Apple, Google, can't even get to fix their stuff together. And it is so also, yeah, it is so sad, and why we make this recurring shout out here to spread awareness, to change the mindset of release stuff that works, that is tested, that doesn't have regressions and so on, and doesn't look for the user's eyes, so the phone could be pointed to a sleeping or unconscious owner and unlocked without their consent. This weekend, Google said in a statement that the fix will be delivered in a software update in the coming month. So yeah, you would also really think that if something is in the news and like outstanding and breaking, that yeah, Google like immediately fixes. Also with tens thousands of developers or 100,000, they should certainly have some couple of competent people to, with all their magic artificial intelligence stuff, machine learning, adapt this quickly. Google is clearly chasing the iPhone here as if Pixels 4 Face Unlock works just like Apple's Face ID system. An IR dot projector blasts a grid of invisible dots onto the user's face, and the camera, a pair of cameras, in this case of the Pixel 4, reads the user's face in 3D. And there you see latest and greatest security. Personally not the greatest fan of biometric stuff, because as you see, sleeping person or just take your fingerprint. Yeah, but also we have seen Samsung Galaxy fingerprint, previous news, with a screen protector each and every sample, so apparently works. In similar amazing Google news, Alexa and Google Home abuse to eavesdrop and phish passwords. Amazon and Google approved apps turned both voice control devices into smart spies. And why I personally not the greatest fan of this, recurring shout out here, Internet of Crap devices, spy devices all over the place. And we had this previous news many times, employees listening to private conversations, even unintentionally, whatever they might have been doing there in their house and four walls. And by now the privacy threats posted by Amazon, Alexa and Google Home are common knowledge. Workers of both companies routinely listen to audio of users, previous IT news, recordings of which can be kept forever, and the sound the devices capture can be used in criminal trials. Now there is new concern: malicious apps developed by third parties and hosted by Amazon or Google. This threat isn't just theoretically. White hat hacker at German security research lab developed 8 apps for Alexa skills and for Google Home actions, and all passed Amazon and Google security vetting process. And yeah, recurring theme here, amazing App Store review for 100. Previous news on all those channels here, our amazing own App Store experience and why we got out of that. And with the exception of one, which masquerades as a random number generator behind the scenes, these smart spies, as researchers call them, surreptitiously eavesdropped on users and phished for their passwords. It was always clear that those voice assistants have privacy implications, with Google and Amazon receiving your speech, and this possibility being triggered on accident. Sometimes Fabian Bräunlein, senior security consultant, as our labs told, we now show that not only the manufacturers but also hackers can abuse those voice assistants to intrude on someone's privacy. Here, no surprise, no shit Sherlock. And who didn't saw this coming? Also, why probably you don't really want to. I said this again, I say call my wife and it's calling random people sometimes. And in my opinion, all this trouble, hassle, totally not worth any of those issues. But as usual, leave me in the comments below what you think about all this amazing internet of stuff. And what the heck, can we also, I had this open earlier, what? In similar amazing news, Bank of America CEO, if you were wondering, should you go into the cloud with your Amazon WS or web services or other Azure? This is slightly annoying. Can we sign in now? Can we only see this for a couple of seconds? That is hilarious. So, according to this report, Bank of America CEO says they have saved $2 billion per year by ignoring Amazon and Microsoft and building its own cloud instead. Also, I probably saved similar amount of money by ignoring this Business Insider. So yeah, no surprise there. Apparently you need to pay this to read this amazing article. But yes, no surprise to me. I also ignored this. Certainly saved quite some €1,000 over the past even. Yeah, mostly in my opinion. Also, did we had in previous news, not sure, somewhere I read that Kubernetes and such, for the most part, all the added complexity is just added complexity and doesn't give you much value. And for most normal websites, for all like 95% 5 or so % of all the companies and services. You don't need this. Just deploying normal server, good old-fashioned server technology usually is enough, saves you tons of hassle and money, and the scaling problems of the top 5% or so of services is not what most people experience or have to deal with. So, but probably we will see plenty of such news sometime soon. In this news, Avast says hackers breached internal network through compromised VPN profiles. So we had this in previous news, compromised VPN profile, right? Recurring shout out here that VPN is not really giving you much for security, especially here. You always need to be careful and look on the details. And compromised CCleaner releases. Anyway, they disclosed that security breach that impacted its internal networks of Czech cybersecurity software maker Avast of all people. So yeah, always be careful what you deploy, and certainly, yeah, found evidence that the attacker targeted their infrastructure going back as far as May 14th that year, and the user whose credentials were apparently compromised did not have domain admin privileges. However, through a successful privilege escalation, the actor managed to obtain domain admin privileges. That, yeah, also, there you see, did VPN help with this? Did antivirus help with this? As per usual, most of the time, not just if you had any illusions what VPN is doing for you. In similar news, worn out EMMC chips are crippling older Teslas, and actually I probably forgot to mention this. So actually I knew this already from some people a year ago who tinker on Teslas. I probably just didn't mention this in this IT news, at least maybe I forgot. Anyway, maybe previous IT news. But so what is happening? They have this multimedia control unit or whatever, and also, yeah, Linux running inside. So if you were wondering, it's just like on some Mazda units. So what is happening is this media controller. What is it? MCU media controller, whatever that is. Do they have it here? Like media control unit here, MCU. And so this Linux is logging so much events that it's wearing out the flash, and apparently after 3 years or something. And under normal circumstances it wouldn't be an issue. It's literally a billion of devices running Linux from an eMMC, but any competent embedded Linux developer would take a step necessary to make sure the operating system's various log files are not being written to a non-replaceable storage device soldered onto the board. Unfortunately, for some reason, it still remains somewhat unclear the build of Linux running on this MCU is doing exactly that. What's worse, Tesla's graphical interface appears to be generating its own additional log messages, despite the likelihood that nobody will ever actually read them. For every second Tesla driving down the road, more lines are being added to the log files. Now it appears that the near continuously writing the data to the eMMC on the older Tegra-based eMMCU and finally started to take its toll. Owners of Teslas are reporting their MCUs are crashing and leaving the expensive vehicle's limp home mode, which allows the car to remain drivable but unable to charge. And yeah, drivable but unable to charge. Yeah, welcome to the future where you can't even charge your car because log files wear out your MMC. And as the failure will almost certainly happen after the factory warranty has lapsed, the owner will have to fool the bill. Yeah, also they take like $300 or something of that sort to replace this. Also, of course, yeah, it is also my opinion, somehow the warranty situation should be changed a little bit. In my opinion, this is a clear issue of it's not a hardware defect, it's like a clear software design defect. And in my opinion, companies with, and this is known, I knew about this specific thing in Teslas already for a year. I just probably maybe I forgot to mention it here. And I think even on YouTube, other YouTuber like Uncle, what is it, Rich, they have of Rich Rebuilds, they have of rebuilding Teslas. I think even on this channel I saw it later. And it's also why probably in the future not only calling out the stuff earlier, but also why you want to share, like, and subscribe here. And in my opinion, Apple should replace this. Also, of course, you can repair this. You can, although it is soldered, even we have already hot air soldering station soldered here SMC. So of course you could unsolder this and replace this MMC chips there for the storage. But of course nowadays this is also why we are here, like Louis Rossmann and we here and others, makers and FPGA and other open source fun stuff. And people should do this, right? I mean, I would not be surprised if people, well, Tesla should be aware, but given that this was known, even I knew this for a year, and other famous YouTubers like Rich of Rich Rebuild shouted this out, I think it is known publicly for at least over a year, and they have not done anything yet. And I would not be surprised, like with similar issues at Apple or on cheap commodity and user hardware, that they are not even really internally aware of this, or just they want to cash in this repair. But in all of those cases, this is hilarious. It should not have even happened to begin with. But yeah, that it's what we have in 2018 or 19. Why is it bigger ships to extend the use of lifetime data is written to the anyway process where leveling. Yeah, also flash. Then people tell me, when I criticize Apple for the new flash is soldered, and people tell me, yeah, this will never wear out. Like, yeah, it will never wear out, like even from bloody old-fashioned text log files on a Tesla. So yeah, your expensive Mac SSD will wear out. Fun fact, some adapter video for Macs coming here soon again. But of course it will wear out, and even if you power user your Mac like video editing each day or something, or compilation testing, especially with data generation like FPGA, like huge amounts of data for bitstream or artificial intelligence, machine learning and all the other fun stuff. Everything basically where you have a little bit more, probably after 5 years, or even if it's, the problem is also it's killing the resale value, right? The more it will be known, and eventually it will be more known, it will not be like you can sell the Macs for good money if everyone knows the flash will be bad and you can't easily change it anyway. At least maybe it's a future business for Louis Rossmann. Maybe you can already practice for future flash integrated circuit upgrades. In similar news, not amazing stuff, Disney Plus streaming users uses draconian DRM avoid. First of all, as always, in their opinion, since they have 2 children, whatever, Netherlands. So he subscribed, testing period, problem devices at home run Fedora, started to use Firefox, was greeted with error 83. Next I tried Chrome, same thing. So they mailed Disney, head text about this, explained how Linux works fine with Netflix, Amazon Prime Video and even web-based and so on. So they are familiar with error 83. This often happens. Want to play Disney Plus via the web browser on certain devices. Their IT department is working hard to solve this. They are working hard to solve this, like usual answer for never. And even though their internet is full of people experiencing this, so I also had this. So also shout out, as far as I remember, I recently tried Netflix and realized it doesn't work on the open source version of Firefox, right? Even Netflix, although he writes Netflix works, of course Netflix also using DRM. If you are using a self-compiled version of Firefox, or maybe even Chrome, maybe even ungoogled Chrome, probably Netflix doesn't work in either of those. This is why the only reason actually why I downloaded here is Google official Chrome. This is a binary only version of Chrome, because as far as I remember, that was the only thing that has a DRM for Netflix to work. So all of this stuff not amazing. I really wish that even Netflix works on either my open source Inti2, by the way, fun fact, compiled yesterday on the other channel video there also. And by the way, there or no, there. So much to a mirrored image preview on the camera. So yeah, updated there on the other channel yesterday. Actually compiled, didn't use the latest version of Rust and Cargo. So, and also at Netflix, the Netflix error is like something like it was, I think, as far as I remember, which probably, fun fact, could we try this here live on, let's maybe open a new tab. Do I know my Netflix credentials here live on YouTube, Netflix.de or something? and log in. Will I remember this here? Live disclosing. If I even... Maybe this... This was wrong. Okay, maybe we try this later. Anyway, comments in the audience. Net's writing, PS3 play Netflix at 2080p, needs white wine R1, which I heard is a hardware thing. What is it even? If this is some copy protection, I don't think it's a hardware thing. They always can, of course, have their own probably app for that. Only work on devices that support the strictest. Okay. So DRM something. Only here live explored on this channel. But again, they can always make special versions if they consider like the PS3 or what, or PS3. They can always make like trusted versions of the app because like it's not hacked, and it also helps with not mistyping the email address. That was right. Yeah, let's try this here. So this is Firefox, and most likely this will not play, I guess. Yeah, yeah, unfortunately German, but whatever. So this is here right now, not making this stuff up, only live on YouTube. So much to, yeah. And in my opinion, so just to show this, so right now the error is F7701-1003. And in my opinion, Netflix is not so much better than Disney Plus in that it doesn't work on an open source version. In my opinion, stuff really should work in an open source version of Firefox or on Google Chromium. In my opinion, it doesn't help us much on the open source side of stuff. You can't, even if it only works in the binary only version of Chrome, it means you might not be able to use it on BSD, I don't know, but for sure you will not be able to use it on GNU Herd or L4 whatever, or Haiku in B positive or whatever that was, or Web positive. And yeah, so much to, yeah, all of them not the most recommended, but yeah, leave me in the comments below what you think. Even if you run your own Linux distribution, normally I have nothing binary only on my system except maybe the Linux driver firmware stuff there, which is a pre-compiled stuff for Wi-Fi and other stuff. And so yeah, even someone running a whole distribution on all the architectures needs binary only Chrome in 2019 to play Netflix. So yeah. Anyway, last but not least, leaked audio reveals always our outlook here on the bleak future of Friday for Future and our planet. Leaked audio reveals how Coca-Cola undermines plastic recycling efforts, which is of course our efforts already worldwide not the most amazing, and then big mega corporations do everything they can apparently to undermine this. Has burnished the plastic image as an environment catching campaign with donations to recycling non-profits. Meanwhile, as one of the world's most polluting brands, Coke, allegedly, I only reading the news, not that I get sued, I have no idea, only quoting here some news, sue them if that is not correctly. Anyway, allegedly Coke has quietly fought efforts to hold the company accountable for plastic waste. Audio from a meeting of recycling leaders obtained by The Intercept reveals how the soda giant's green philanthropy helped squelch what could have been an important tool in fighting the plastic crisis and shine light of the behind-the-scenes tactics beverages and plastic companies have quietly used for decades to evade responsibility for their waste. Certainly not cool, and just a recurring reminder that, yeah. Anyway, thanks for tuning in, everyone. I'm doing relatively fine now that we left the App Store. Also, only live on this channel. I'm more VR in the news ourselves. I'm more Exact Scan. Exact Scan leaves the App Store and all its problems, only here live in the news on iMore. So thanks for that shout out, highly appreciated. Finally 30% more income for paying not only taxes in Germany but also employing hopefully new people soon, because as you can imagine, if you sell quite a bit of stuff, that is already a salary for some new co-worker here to help out with things. That is certainly more amazing than making Apple even richer. And yeah, just that you are aware of that news, amazing stuff. Thanks for asking, hope you are fine as well. And in similar news, we could take a final look what exactly this DRM is, because not an overview of all the latest and greatest. Android, yes, this is also, by the way, Android police here. But Netflix, what did you write? I think if Disney Plus is, what was the news here? If Disney Plus doesn't work due to that, I think he writes Netflix works, right? Is it Netflix? Netflix will not offer full HD or 4K resolution, but otherwise everything works fine. Balance between DRM and ability to... Okay, so explaining how Linux works fine with Netflix. Yeah, the only good use for App Store is to download Xcode. Yeah, even that, I really wonder, even that I need to criticize, and I think I even criticized Xcode, is not only not the greatest fan of Xcode, the UI is horrible, in my opinion, but also 8 GB. I also wonder what is wrong with them. Can they not do Delta updates? This is really hilarious that for each Xcode version you need to download 8 GB, which of course we has. But why is the internet so slow when each and everyone with their 500 Mbit connection is downloading 8 GB for an IDE update? And then can they not do, you can't tell me that each and every file in Xcode changes at each version. What is wrong with Delta updates? Also, I think due to storing it temporarily, you need like 12 gigs for installing it or something of that sort, which all in all, everything together is, in my opinion, totally hilarious. So if you're saying Netflix is using this whatever LV1 or something, I think not, because otherwise he would not say that this Disney Plus works with that, because that can't be the same unless they only use it for full HD or 4K. Let's see, what do they write here? A lot of masters, almost entertainment media will soon grace us with another subscription service, not taking any chances. Filthy Preds, Disney Plus will reportedly require the most stringent type of wide-vine DRM, so it might not even work on your device. And yeah, 2019, your video streaming service might not even work on your device because of crippling digital rights management. And according to Linux developers, which, by the way, is this the same one as this one, or maybe it's even the same one that we are reading here, will need this wide-vine L1 for all streaming, locking out some, and so on. But this makes me, so this would mean that even in Chrome, whatever they have in there, so that would mean I can't, if he says it doesn't work at all, and for me it doesn't, Netflix does already not work in either ungoogled Chromium or Firefox, that would mean that if Netflix needs this for a full HD or 4K, that I can only watch Netflix in 720p in Chrome. Yeah, this is all set, and why I would somewhat like boycott this, but yeah, whatever. 480p in Widevine L3 that can be implemented in software. Okay, that is disgusting. It's, yeah, this is so sick. It's sickening. It's I have live no words. Let's get drunk with water. See, what is Google Chrome DRM? Do they enable Chrome DRM plugins? Why can't DRM stream in Chrome? Yeah, this is really sad, and L3 Netflix restricts content quality to 720p on Chrome or Firefox browsers for PCs because software level. So 720p, they say Netflix is using L1 only for 720p plus. So here it says, if this is still recent, they say greater than 720p. Didn't even realize that. But then again, there you see, do you need full HD or 4K? Usually I don't need for my Netflix, limited Netflix consumption. But you know, live in a world. But there you see, why is it increasingly difficult not only to bring a browser to market, but even a whole operating system, right? Even if we like would now stop the presses and all work here and work on an amazing operating system, either Linux-based macOS copy or otherwise multi-server microkernel stuff, couldn't even play DRM crap here. That is hilarious. Also slightly wonder what is implemented here in terms of hardware. Even if a monitor supports this and HDCP 2.2 latest specification, you cannot watch Netflix using Ultra HD quality if you use Chrome, whatever, something hardware level DRM model that performs content decryption in protected hardware level security technology. So the decryption content is for playback is securely protected from external processes such as screen capture and hacking tools. Okay, so there is Play Ready, White Wine, security level L1. That is really disgusting. So Intel CPU after 7th gen have support for HDDCP. So I wonder where is this implemented, this L1 mobile smart. I slightly wonder where that is implemented, in what kind of SOC there. But yeah, anyway, this is hilarious. Yeah, it looks like greater than 720p here according to this, if this is, but could also be outdated, but well, June 19th, but yeah, I mean 720p is certainly enough for most people in the bed and living room or something, not, but yeah, this is also hilarious that you can, with most tools, not enjoy a high fidelity, even on, but this is how ridiculous this is. In 2019, the people getting so crazy, in a way you should kind of boycott this, like totally, because even on an old-fashioned digital satellite TV, you could watch full HD over your satellite dish, and yeah. Nets says in the comments, Netflix is terrible on PCs, but in his opinion, the best way to watch movies on smart TV consoles. Yeah, even I've fallen for this. So I've tried, like, also, yeah, if you want to boycott this, not that you heard this from me or that I would support this, but I, over the years, have tried Netflix a couple of times for free, because email addresses are quite unlimited, so you can have my Netflix tryout 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 at your local domain, whatever. And not that I would totally not recommend this and whatever. But if you are not fully satisfied with the service and try it out every other year, then yeah, but in the meantime, certainly it is way cheaper if your friends and family sometimes watch something to have Netflix or so than to buy each movie and stuff there on some per purchase stuff. And then even then, I did not realize what you might not know. If you even buy this at Apple and iTunes, it's hilarious. Sometimes the publisher removes a movie in iTunes, and then although you purchased it, it disappears in your cloud library, because cloud library in 2019 also not amazing. You probably didn't know that. I still have on my to-do, eventually I want to go through my iTunes purchases over the last decade and see if I can still download a backup of each and all those purchases, and if I find any of those which was deleted by the publisher. Also, fun fact, in iTunes, you cannot, what many people also don't know, you can also not watch 4K on a Mac. You can only watch 4K on an Apple TV, which is hilarious in my opinion. This is, in my opinion, even misleading. By the way, if you are in the US and can do class action lawsuits, which we don't have as much in Europe, I would totally recommend to sue Apple over their indication of 4K. So in the iTunes store, a lot of videos are indicated 4K, and you, in my opinion, you buy it, for example, you buy it on your Mac in iTunes with a 4K label, only to see in the fine print that 4K is only supported on Apple TV, which in my opinion is totally misleading and hilarious, that you have a fancy multiple thousand euro or dollar Macintosh and you can't even watch your purchased iTunes movie. There you see, even in Apple's ecosystem and Wallet Garden, not amazing, misleading, and yeah, can't even watch it there on your latest and greatest, most expensive cheese grater Mac, only on your $99 or whatever crappy external Apple TV. It's hilarious, and even DRM on the Apple side is hilariously stupid and whatever. Ned says parents don't know how to torrent things, so the best solution for them. Funny things are even Blu-ray discs have DRM. That even Blu-ray discs have DRM? What is that? Even Blu-ray discs have DRM nowadays, but Blu-ray always had DRM, like at least like crypted DRM, right? As far as I remember, on Blu-ray, for Blu-ray playback, they even have fingerprint detection on the JavaScript. So there is a Java engine, not JavaScript, Java. So there is a Java implementation in each Blu-ray player, I think, and they even do like fingerprinting to verify that the Java implementation was not tinkered with, like modified to dump stuff. So as far as I read some papers, the DRM and virtual machine stuff for Blu-rays is even analyzing the Java virtual machine for tinkering and yeah, modifications. Anyway, that's it for today. Mostly shout out for supplemental updates. Other people chiming in many reasons why this stuff is not amazing anymore. Antivirus, a recurring theme, not to mention Cisco, the recurring theme. Yeah, even Google can't do secure face unlock, and yeah, probably don't spend too much money on cloud stuff. And hope you learned something. Don't forget to share, like, and subscribe. As usual, leave me in the comments what you think, and I hope to see you soon for all the next videos and live streams to come.